What have you been up to, troublemakers? TikTok troublemakers? What you guys up to? Alright, Lynette. Yeah, I see some of you guys staying up late. You guys stay up late with me. I'm only gonna be up here for like an hour. You saw Beetlejuice. Alright, Barbosa, alright. Did you like it? I saw Beetlejuice too. When it came out, not this Sunday, the last Sunday. Or wait, it was this past Sunday. Biali, Paso Kamati, Wantika man. Alright, Cinco Paso Kamati no Nitsi. Makwali Yoali to you, Senjalistli. It was good. Alright, Hoka, hey, alright, Joseph Padilla, how you doing? What you guys been up to? You guys tired of all these TikTok Indians or what? I'm doing good, you know. It feels good to take a little break from TikTok, you know. Step away for a little bit. Let me lower my volume here. I've been busy playing video games on my phone. I like strategy war games, and so I like to. It's not like modern. What do you call it? Like modern warfare, or like you're running around with a pistol. I like to strategize. I have an entire military, and you know, like a whole unit, different units, and we go to war. You know, like command and conquer type stuff. I could sit there for hours if I let myself. I could sit there all day long till my eyes feel like I can't look anymore. I love the strategy, I love the challenges, and I love winning, so you know what it is. Tired of damn voting, LOL. Oh, I hear you. The voting, huh? Is the baddest warrior on TikTok. Hey. I used to be able to do more of the growling, like I can't do it no more. I used to be like Red Road Warrior. One day maybe I'll put some videos on there. Beautiful hair. Oh, thank you. It's growing, you know. It's growing. It's out there. I had to flat iron it a little bit so it's not everywhere. My hair gets wild. It's like roots of a tree. My hair's truly like roots of a tree. It feels like little roots everywhere. You know, it's connected to the universe, to everything around us. My hair, I had to flat iron it. I never look. I don't like to bullshit people. I do have my flat iron here. Because my hair does get everywhere. Like I'm telling you, it looks like I got electrocuted. Just roots everywhere. Oh, that's cool. True Grit X. Beautiful hat. Also, oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Lasso Kamati. That's why we don't cut our hair, LOL. Oh, I see. I'll bullshit aside. I almost cut my... Like, I knew I wasn't. I told people I was going to cut my hair, but I don't think I will. I do have just the sides here. You see this? I did cut a little bit right here. But that's it. It was just like a little... And I got to get it faded again. So what you guys been up to, man? Love that hat, bro. Oh, all right, thank you, Strong Storm. Appreciate it. What you guys been up to? What's going on TikTok? What do we got to address? Who do we got to yell at? Who's going to record us today? Who's going to record my live and make a whole ass fucking, you know, gather all their people, you know. I bring people together. That's the nice thing about, you know, at the end of the day, I feel good bringing people together. Even if it means hating, you know. Sometimes that's what it is. People like to hate, and so I think just bringing people together to me is cool. You've been chilling, all right. That's good to hear, man. You've been chilling, that's good. What up, Big Dog Paco? Doing good? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing good. Love, all right. I once used 3 phones to have 3 countries to take over. 3 countries to take over. Oh, all right, man. Thank you guys. This is a very different kind of TikTok, by the way, for the people who are kind of new to my live streams. It's very different because we do address the bullshit that people be saying on TikTok. You know, I scroll from time to time, not a lot, but today I did, and I saw people trying to talk on Mayans and Aztecs and what we'll believe or what we don't believe, and all that shit's bullshit. I'm telling you guys, it's a bunch of baloney bullshit. Now, you can go ahead and if it, you know, for the people who are very spiritual, like I'm spiritual, I guess, too, but we don't see things as people say, like when I saw somebody talking about like, oh, there was like prophecies and there were, okay, I get you. But let me tell you guys, a prophecy was an intelligent gas. It's an intelligent gas based on what people see, how the changes of life. And, you know, that's kind of where we see things as an intelligent gas. And many times we're right. Like if you guys told me today who would win an all-out war between the United States and Russia, or could Russia be defeated, I would tell you Russia cannot be defeated. That's just the truth. I watch news every day. When I'm not on TikTok, I'm updating myself with sources outside in Mexico, South America, Central America. Right now, just so you guys know, the United States has never done this before in this hemisphere, and Russia is already establishing a lithium base. I think they invested hundreds of millions of dollars in Bolivia. It is a contract that's going to take place in 2025. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Like, do you guys see where I'm coming from? The United States has never done that here, so that's where we're coming from. Like, you know, there's going to be a big-ass project. Russia is benefiting from everything that's been happening in this war right now so far. They've been actually doing real good financially. But they like to lie to us here in the United States. This is the difference between my live streams and other people's live streams, that they'll go around and bullshit you guys. I don't bullshit people. I come up here and I call them out for the truth. And they can either like me or hate me. They could come up if they want. My live is open. We can talk about it. All right. Going back to work, eat my house, almost done. All right, Lynette, have a good day at work. It is one of these. Ooh. Yep. All right. I hope you continue your travels and cover more. Crystal, Alaska, how you been, Manny? I've been all right. Thank you for asking, man. Hope you guys been doing good too. You know, sometimes it's just good to stay the hell out of TikTok. You know, TikTok's not my bread and butter. I do have a whole ass full-time job. You know, I have a lot of responsibilities. You know, I like what I do. You know, I have a lot of things that I'm working on. So, you know, I keep it 100 with myself first. I got to be cool with myself, with the things I do, how I walk this earth, how I walk every day, how I wake up, how I go to bed. That's priority number one. The dramas on TikTok, all the bullshit that goes around here, it's not that important, you know. I hope you guys understand that. I encourage you guys not to let yourselves sink into that rabbit hole of division and hate and all that nonsense too, you know. Just so you guys know. Two-Spirit Chalk Time MIW Survivor. All right. Happy you're back. Happy you were found. Happy you returned home. It's too toxic. That's what it is, you know, for the most part. Everybody wants to fucking be a historian and and I see that a lot on even YouTube, documentaries, bullshit ass stuff. Everybody wants to be a fucking, you know, a historian and shit and try to educate on history. History's gone. It's in the past. You know, that's the bottom line. History's gone. It's not coming back, but depending on your spiritual path, our elders still with us, you know. And if you continue to practice this, you still continue to, you know, we're still a living, thriving culture. As long as we practice the tradition. Being on TikTok all day, downloading PDF files to try to teach people shit based on writings that some fucking bozo wrote because he wanted to make a name for himself, doesn't mean that someone's going to give you that validation as someone who knows what the fuck you're talking about, because books are bullshit. For the most part, I don't believe in books too much. Like, I read them. Look, I'm gonna tell you, look, I'm gonna show you guys the books that I do like. I'm gonna show you guys right now. Check this shit out. Whoa. Earthshake. So these are some of the books that I do fuck with. Health, self-care, advisor. This is based on research. Encyclopedia of Natural Medicine. This is another book I fuck with, and I have a lot of books like this. These are the books that I actually do care a lot about. Health, bottom line, medicine, healthy eating. Super important. Super important. You could change your life. You know, change your life. Do the right thing. You know, that's the way to really see changes, starting right away from your health. When you consume good foods, when you take care of your health, you'll feel it, you'll know it. You start to vibrate at a different frequency. You start to feel happier, healthier, stronger, more active, less clouding of your mind. You know, you start to do things you were not able to do because of health problems. The number one problem once you start hitting your mid-30s, early 40s is your health problems. You start, no matter how many goals you put in your mind and how much you want to do in life, if you don't have that health, if you don't have the strength to keep you going, you're not going to go nowhere. You're only going to go as far as your body allows you to go based on the care and the love that you have for yourself. Thank you, I am. Am I following you? I am. Thank you, appreciate it. Very important. Went from 375 down to 200. That's good, Crystal. Keep it up. Keep it up. I mean, for a 43-year-old dude, I mean, I feel pretty strong. I mean, I'm pretty fit. You know what I mean? I'll still throw down with the best. I'm very active at work. I like to move around a lot. I like to be very active. I don't like to waste my time. I get bored if I'm not doing anything that keeps me moving. That's one of the reasons why, even though I have a commercial Class C driver's license, and I really do, and I'd be more than willing to show just that part. Because sometimes people say, do you really have a Class commercial license? I do. Let's see, right there. It says Class C right there. You see it? Class C right there. Now, that's not my actual address, so if someone screenshotted that, it's all good. People be doxing me all the time and everything. But I keep my energy moving, if you know what I mean. So, you know, so that's the reason why I didn't get into driving. I was offered good money, but I'm like, I don't really want to sit down all day, you know. I really don't want to do that yet. So I want to feel more healthy, more better in order for me to do it. And I recommend you guys to do that for the people watching the live right now. Just, you know, focus on your health, man. Start there. I'm 15, still standing. My wolf keeps me moving. I do. You don't have to prove anyone anything. No, I hear you. I'm not trying to prove it. I'm just saying, like, at the end of the day, like, I just want to show you guys that I do have a C license, a Class C, and, you know, I've been offered good jobs, and I didn't take them because I was just like, I don't really know. I don't really want to put myself in that position right now where I'm on a vehicle all day, you know. Good money, but, you know, it's not good for the body. Took everything we held here in Elk, Washington from last year's fire. Oh, right, I hear you. Yep. Nice gift. I'm just showing off the shirt. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you enjoyed the lives, you know. This account right here, I've always addressed the bullshit that people say. I just want to tell you guys too, man. I don't know what spiritual path you guys are walking. I really don't know the spiritual path you guys are walking. But there's a lot of people who like to spread a bunch of bullshit. And I'm just saying, like, be careful with people here on TikTok, because I've seen people that have following, and then they're of a tribe out here in the United States, but they want to speak on Mayans and Aztecs and all that shit, and that their belief has nothing, zero to do with our spiritual. Most people don't even know our spiritual path. I'm telling you, they don't. It's so pure that most people don't even fuck with it, because it's just too real. It's just, you know, it's kind of like Sundance. Not people go see what it is, and then they're like, holy shit, like this is, you know, they're really doing all these things there. You know, we have our ceremonies too in the spiritual path, and you know, but it's not like a lot of people think. You know, they go out there spreading bullshit. If they're not Aztec or Mayan, don't believe the bullshit they say. You know, and there's a lot of people too that are Mexicans or Mexican Americans, Chicanos in the United States, mixed Mexican and white people, and they always want to claim just Aztec, and that's fine. Look, they can do that because Mexico, the Mexica people said we're all Mexica, you know, we're all Mexica. That's kind of how the Aztec feel. That's why most people, even if they're from different tribes, they can join the Aztec dance. So they have the Aztec dance where anybody can join it, and then they have ones particularly for Nahua people. I want to show you guys a flag that I just picked up. Check out this flag. It's the Mexican flag, but they have an Aztec warrior in the middle. It still has the Mexican eagle, look at that. But then you have the whole Aztec warrior thing. It's the same one that's right here. But they have it on the flag. I was like, man, I gotta pick that up. This is the more colorful side on the other end, on the other side. But it's a whole flag, you know. But this side is not as brightly colored, but it's still cool, you know. The other side, so it comes with a stick. You see the stick? So it's huge, and I can't wait I'm gonna rock it. And that's another part that it's really important to talk about these topics as indigenous people, you know, as Aztec people. Let me fix this flag now. Why is it important to talk about these things? Well, because we're celebrating our independence in a few days. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if you guys understand, if you guys are aware of Mexican Independence Day. And it's gonna be incredible. Just so you guys know. All right, so vibe it out. It was from September 16th to September 27th. The battles and everything took place, but it's official September 17th. I mean 16. You know, but that just shows you that we did something that was incredible. As indigenous people of Mexico, we defeated our oppressor. We did. Right around the 1810 to 1821. It's a big thing. It's a huge thing. It was ultimate victory for the indigenous people south of the modern day U.S. border. Now the border doesn't really divide us, to say. There's American Indians out there who know what's up, and there's others that don't. So I just wanted to share that there's American Indians who know the how cool we were with each other, and then there's others that don't. A lot of them were indigenous people that belong to territories, not, I want to say Mexico, but Mexico did have a lot of states that are not part of the United States. But even prior to that, our tribes didn't have borders. You know what I mean? We didn't have borders. And there's still a lot of hate and division coming from some people in reservations, you know, invalidations, and that shit's toxic as fuck. It is very toxic. Thank you, bro. David, appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. Like I said, my lives are very different compared to TikTok Indians who just tell you what you want to hear just so you can gift them, and they tell you shit that makes you feel comfortable. And I don't like to work in comfort zones. You know, I like to really get down to the conversations and topics and things that need to be covered with good intention. You know, nobody's out here to promote hate, lies, fabrications on people or nothing like that. But we will call things out for what they are. They could either accept it or they can keep walking their fucking TikTok path, because we know for fucking sure they ain't doing shit in real life. I'm just saying it like with good intention. There's a lot of people who walk around, and I'm not calling them out. I'm just saying they on TikTok that don't really do shit in real life. You know, I was watching a very important documentary on the Hopi tribe, and you know their conflicts with other tribes around the region there. You know, including the Dene and the Navajo, and how now they've established peace with each other. They're some of them vibe it out, and then there's still others that don't want to vibe it out with the Navajo. You know, because they came down when their migration, they migrated down, and you know, we're impacting the indigenous locals at the time in a negative way. So there's still a lot of issues between certain reservations, certain peoples. You know. Can't deny that. You could see what they did in the Zocalo. You know, the Zocalo and everything, man, I'm just gonna tell you guys, the American Indian, the indigenous Aztecs, Mayans, all that stuff, living in their communities, they live very different. I think it's just a whole different vibe. When you go to Mexico, there's a whole different vibe when you go over there, you know? There really is. It's a whole different vibe. I went to Mexico in 89, 93, 96, and 2003, and that was the last time I went to Mexico. I know it's time flies when you're having fun, I guess, you know, but it's a whole different vibe. A lot of people tell me when they go to Mexico, it just feels like home. You know, that's a feeling that everybody that travels to Mexico and then comes back to the United States, you just feel alive over there. You know, it's a whole different vibe. Like I said, I haven't been there since 2003. But my goal has been to move out there, you know. If things change, I really want to be over there. And you know the reason why I'm going to tell you guys straight up why I want to be in Mexico, like the truth of all truths. You guys going to hear it right now. The reason why I want to go to Mexico is the same reason why we're celebrating September 16. And the reason why we have that flag over here that I just showed you with the Aztec warrior, our Huitlatloni Cuauhtemoc. Why is it that important for me? Because the spirit of victory, of indigenous victory, is all over Mexico. You know, the battle against our oppressor that we defeated was won. We won. We are victorious. When you go there, it just feels like we govern ourselves. We're an independent nation of indigenous people, mestizos, Mexican people. Now, I got to establish my dual citizenship, but I just know that all I've ever known is this government, a white tea government who's always been fucking greedy, stingy, you know, always about them and their funds and corporate America and selling us corporate bullshit, genetically modified organisms, pharmaceuticals. I don't even go to the hospital, guys. What's up, Brown Wolf? The reason why I don't go to the hospital is because I don't believe in this medical system they have. I don't believe in it. In fact, if you go to the hospital and you don't have a good insurance card, they're just going to bring you in, drain your blood out so they could do DNA, maybe use your blood for something, like use it for a donation, because they'll take like 3 or 4 tubes of blood. How much blood do you need to test something very basic? And if that's the case, why don't they do x-rays and CAT scans and you know, and other things based on what you have? If you have stomach pain, they should do an ultrasound and see if you have tumors or what do you have inside. Maybe run a camera. I forgot what they call it, a telescopy, or I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it's called 100%. But they run a camera through your throat, you know, so they could see your guts. So what the hell does that have to do with someone pulling all these there's like 4 or 5 different tubes of blood? Yeah, it's all about the money, correct. And if you don't have the right insurance, that's why they pull that blood out, so they can cover your visit. You know what I mean? It's really just a freaking toxic ass place. You know, my cousin at the age of 26, Brenda, rest in peace, She went to the hospital with a cold 3 days before Halloween, I think. Now going on 5 years this year. She went back. They told her she had nothing. She just had a cold. Go back home, rest, whatever. 2 days later, she comes back. She was in so much pain because I guess an infection spread through her liver or her kidneys, whatever. It was spreading an infection. They had to shoot her up with morphine. She had a reaction to it. She passed away right at the moment she got that injection of morphine for the pain. They brought her back. And then around 10 p.m. at night, I got a call that my cousin was at the hospital. And she was taking photos. She was on her phone taking photos, posting them on a Facebook and everything, like saying hi to people while she's in the hospital. This is the reason why I don't fuck with the hospital. Because of things like that. And I'm not telling you don't go to the hospital. If you have a serious condition already, I would say go. You know, do not go, because I'm telling you, I don't believe in it. The way I see it is, if it's my time to go, then it's my time to go. They ain't gonna save my ass over there. They're just gonna try to make as much money as I can before I pass, the fuck away. That's what it is, man. It's a fucking crooked. Look, I went to the hospital since I was like 15 years old when I got jumped in Chicago and I had a deviated septum. I got jumped by a group of gangbangers. And since that age till today, I have not lived without pain. Because of the, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's all right. I'm so accustomed to pain already that it's just, to me, is like, I don't care. When I hear people talk about a headache, or I'm like, I feel bad for you, but just keep working or keep doing what you got to do, man, because we're all in pain. Nobody's fucking untouchable in this life. We're all touched by something. Pain, losses, tragedies, sicknesses, diseases, all kinds of stuff. None of us are untouched. We all have a level of anxiety, even if we say we don't have anxiety. Like, I don't suffer from anxiety, but I know sometimes our mind can trick us. There are spaces in our minds, in our heads, and our thoughts that can trigger an anxiety attack, no matter how tough you fucking are. It's just the way things are. Now, in our thoughts, when you deal with this kind of stuff, you start to put up little barriers in your mind where you know how far to take a conversation, when to step away from things, because if you stay there for too long dealing with the same situation, you're gonna blow up. It's not gonna be good. But all I'm saying is, all those years going to the hospital, whatever, when I had like pain or sinus stuff, they would give me steroids and say, for educational purposes, tell me to do sinus rinses and blah blah blah. All those years. And just like 4 years ago, like I said, this was me in pain for 15 years. Just like 4 years ago, a doctor had told me, "Oh, why don't you come to the hospital more often?" Because I stopped going to the hospitals. They're like, "Why don't you come to the doctor anymore to take care of it?" Blah blah blah. I don't know if they had told you, but you have a deviated septum, and we're trying to take care of our patients and all that. I'm like, so you're telling me all these years I've been coming to these clinics, these hospitals, all this bullshit, and you guys never told me I had a deviated septum? You guys would tell me deviated septum is caused by injury. It's caused by an injury and you need surgery. Nothing will fix that. And they never told me shit until like 4 years ago after going to hospitals. I was 15 years old when that incident happened. I was in the hospital so I'm just telling you guys, if you believe in the medical system, me personally, I don't care about it. I don't care about the medical system. It doesn't work for us unless, like I said, you have a serious condition where you just can't, there's no other alternative, and there's a chance that you might make it. One of my aunts in California right now, she's going through a surgery. It's a life and death surgery, so that will be coming up soon. Her arteries get inflamed all over her body. She gets inflammation in the arteries. And if it gets too inflamed, they can rupture. And they can rupture in her head. They can rupture any part of their body. It's a rare disease. I don't know what they call it. I just found out about it. That, she's going to do the surgery. The father told me about it. And, he wanted to go out there and be with her. Because it's one of those surgeries where, like I said, it's life or death. And I always tell people all the time, I'm like, take care of your health, man. I tell everybody I ever cross paths with, I'm like, you gotta, eat right, do this, do that, because at the end of the day, no matter how many plans you have in your mind, how much you trying to strive to go somewhere, whatever it is you're trying to do in life, you're not gonna get nowhere the minute your body starts to kick your ass, Thank you, man. Appreciate it, Eddie. Appreciate it. I hope she does well too. She already made peace with herself and her beliefs, and whatever she believes in, that she's gonna do this because it's either that or running the risk that eventually an artery at any given point can rupture. That's why I tell people, like, man, I'm sure there was a treatment for that. She could have cured herself with roots, with medicine. But again, there's so many people, and I'm telling you guys straight up, there's so many people who eat junk food, who cheat all the time, who eat very bad food, genetically modified organisms, and I'm not that kind of man. Like when I go to work, I'm staring these, like, I'll drink like I'll do like a healthy drink, vitamin waters that I make myself. I eat very clean vegetables, small portion of meat. I'm constantly modifying my food, so I know if my time comes where I'm gonna hang the shoes, that I did my best. I did my best to be the better version of myself and give my chances, the best opportunities I could to thrive. Hey, what's up, Mono? Yeah, man. I mean, I just took a little break. You guys know I didn't really feel it, and I'm most likely gonna take another break after this. I mean, I added you and my family to prayers. Thank you, David. Appreciate you guys, man. And family, thank you. Appreciate it, man. There's a lot of things. We want to come out here with good spirit and good energy and good vibration, good frequency, when we had these talks. Unfortunately, it just seems that drama always gets more viewers. Sitting out here talking shit about someone, fighting about someone, calling someone out, all this stuff always, But I just want to remind you guys, don't forget, whatever people tell you about Mayans and Aztecs here on TikTok, do not believe that shit. I'm just telling you, with all respect, all due respect, people want to come and say that we believed in this and the Aztecs and Mayans believed in this. Look, if they're not part of those tribes, do not believe them, because they're going to misinform you. And there's a lot of people that go around and use religious ideologies and implement them on our beliefs. We did not believe in gods. We did not believe in even... they use the term deities, but it had nothing to do with anything about us. We gave certain directions names, all right? And it was out of respect and the meaning behind them. It wasn't because they were gods or some spiritual myth thing. Aztecs, Mayans, Olmecs, all the tribes that, as far as I know, that region, all the tribes that I'm connected, they were very scientific about the things they did. They were very honest and sincere about the things they did know and the things they didn't know. And the things they didn't know, they would try to research, observe, document, do real science. That's why they were magnificent astronomers. They were astronomers. They were magnificent at agriculture, magnificent at biology, mathematics. They were observers, deep thinkers. But they never try to lie to someone, or if they didn't understand a mystery on something they didn't understand, they didn't just fabricate it and said, well, that's God because we don't understand what the power of it. No, they researched it. They broke it down. That's what this whole calendar is about. Breaking down information. There's a lot of research that goes, they did a lot of research, thousands of years, hundreds, thousands of years to put together the magnificent Mayan calendar, Aztec calendar that people know. Thank you for the gift. Appreciate it. Suico, I'm sorry if I said your name right or wrong, but it's Suico. Thank you. You Native American? Hell the fuck yes, man. I hope so. I hope you don't think I don't know, I'm just wearing this for and I hope you didn't think I got my tattoos just for laughs and kicks, But as far as Native American, I want to say anybody can be Native American if we just go based on the terms what Native American is. It's someone who's born in a country, that's Native. Indigenous to this hemisphere, correct, yes. Yes, there are two different calendars, correct. But within this calendar, they call it one calendar, but it's multiple, it's more... the counts, it's every 20 days, there's counts, there's a lot of information based, human information, agricultural information, astronomical information, cycles, moon cycles, eclipses, lunar cycles, all kinds, solar cycles, all these things. It's the measurement of certain things and the time of everything. Everything was timed. That's what I'm telling you, is everything's about observation. Science. Nobody went around saying, we think there was a giant here and there was a fucking alien ship that came here. And no, there is no alien ships recorded in anywhere in Aztec or Mayan culture, codices, none of that. everything had to do with the medicine that they had control over, or things that anybody around the world saw. Like, you see the moon, there was Egyptians, there was Europeans, there was Asians, there was Middle Easterns, there was Hindus, there was all people from everywhere that were recording these similar movements, similar solar count cycles of the moons and different things. They were researching too. That's why there's some connection, some general connection with our information and information of people around the world. Their sciences, their natural science, you know. That is what we practice. We never went around saying like, oh, there's a God here, because we don't know how the fuck this happened, so we're just gonna call him God. Ometeot itself, a lot of people say Ometeot's not a valid word. Ometeot is literally creation, power, and energy. That's what it is. It's not someone you sit there and talk to. It's not a fucking, what do you call the word? It's not a counselor, you know, where you're just gonna go and I need counseling, so I'm gonna go and talk to you know, Ometeot. Hey, Ometeot, you know, I spent too much money this weekend, and, you know, I cannot afford to pay my rent this week. So, you know, Ometeot, please, you know, bless me with, you know, with funds, or maybe give me a little bit over, maybe my managers give me a little bit of overtime, or, you know, maybe you could drop some money from the heavens. That's not how Ometeot works. You know what I mean? The boogeyman in the sky will have you because he loves you. Hello. No, I'm just telling you guys, like, real talk. Like, when we talk about things like that, it doesn't exist. People like to open their mouth and run their mouth about things. Oh, the Mayans believed in this, the Aztecs. It's bullshit. Look, man, I heard Joya say something earlier on, and that's why I'm addressing it, all right? Because I heard Joya talking about, like, alien. I don't know what the fuck he believes in. I don't know what the fuck the guy's smoking. But I put a cap on there. So I'm like, bro, you don't speak on our tribe. You could speak on the Seneca or the, you know, the Big House tribe that he's part of, the Long House and all that stuff. That's cool. He can talk about that all he wants. But to say that the Mayans believed in this and they believed in that and the Aztec, when the fuck have you been part of the Mayan tribe? You're not even part of your own community, bro. And I've seen how reservations work, and just because people are from a res does not mean that they're walking a traditional, native, spiritual, healthy lifestyle. A lot of people in the reservation, I'm not saying all, I'm saying a lot of people in reservations are living just as bad as Mexicans, as black people, as, you know, minorities and gangs all over in the hood, in the barrios, all over the United States, in different regions of the world. They're not living any better than them. You know, there's good and there's a lot of bad. Unfortunately, the world is mostly full of, you know, negative fucking crime bullshit. You know, so that's the same thing goes when it comes to people trying to get on TikTok and educate on things and their own belief of what things are. There's a difference when you believe in what you think is real and what truly is real within our communities. That's why I don't come out here and I don't sit here and tell you guys like, oh, like this is the way and because of this. No, because I know there's people with different ideologies, different tribes, different ways of thinking, different beliefs. Some people believe in little people. Some people believe in Bigfoot. Some people believe in, you know, the skin, you know, people. Some people believe in, you know, in creator and the great spirit and they talk to it and all. But like I said, Ometeot to us, which means what? Power, energy, and creation. None of that says he's a counselor, he's an advisor, or it's a man, or it's a female. In fact, Ome means duality. Ome means two. So just right there alone, Enteot, energy, power, creation, sacred duality. Sometimes I have wore my bandana with the two snakes on each side. But like I said, to each their own. That's why I don't come out here and tell you guys like, oh, this is the way and this is not. Everybody walks a spiritual path at their own pace. And I would say the best way to learn things is through your elders, through being involved in your community, not by buying a book and saying, I'm going to read this. I read this book, so now I know, because knowledge is not wisdom to begin with. Information alone does not make you have wisdom. There's a lot of stupid, idiot, dumb motherfucking people for educational purposes, TikTok, who read a fucking book and suddenly they think they can fucking teach the whole world about a book. Oh, I read this book, and so this book, these few pages here have shown me how to walk the native way, and now I know how to be an American Indian or a fucking shaman. And that happens a lot in white tea. And look, no hate to the white tea people watching the live, but there's a lot of white tea people who go and practice like chakras and Hindu studies and like all these things, that spiritual things that have nothing to do with them. And then they say like, I'm a level 3 fucking medium or fucking chakra reader, energy, like they all these things. And they live in a fucking city, in a suburb, go home, fucking probably drink, smoke pot, play games all day, fuck around, watch sports all day, and then they take about 30 minutes to read a book, and then like after 2 years they finally have a license that says that they can be fucking speak to the dad and fucking and you know and read your future and tell you whether or not you're gonna be wealthy or poor or sick, or if you're gonna meet someone in your life, and they're card readers and witches and hey man, no hate to, there's a lot of pretty witches out there. That I'm gonna leave it like that. There's a lot of pretty witches, and it's good to see people practice other things other than religious ideologies. I think it's good for people to practice that. Now I think there's also witches who are not really witches to say, but there are more what people call medicine women, who practice certain medicine to help you, guide you, to help connect you to your past through certain medicine like ayahuasca, you know, or different kinds of medicines like peyote. And that's another thing I wanted to touch on, because peyote is a medicine that came from the region of Jalisco in Guadalajara in central Mexico, or north to central Mexico. And I remember people were attacking me because I said, oh, I was invited to Sundance because my clan, our medicine man, he was connected to the Lakota, and they shared medicine, they exchanged medicine. And so when his medicine man that he used to work with, they were one-on-one together, doing ceremonies together, passed away, who was Lakota, this medicine man, Temuc Mosqueda, continued to practice the Sundance in honor of his relative, who to us didn't pass away, but continues to live through the natural evolution of life all around us. Do you guys get where I'm coming from? I hope you guys do. If not, I'll break it down a little bit better. So when two native men that practice medicine cross paths together, they exchange knowledge, they exchange information, because they know that is medicine that can help one another. So they exchange that medicine. And then when one of them passes away, in honor of that fallen warrior, that medicine man, they continue to practice. That medicine man doesn't actually die. He continues to exist. He returns back to Mother Earth, to the natural evolution of life. Its energy continues to live. Some of you guys might call it spirit, a ghost, you know, whatever you guys want, but that energy continues. And when you practice the medicine and you continue to speak to this being that's no longer physically here, but his energy is, that's how the medicine, the tradition continues, you know, by practicing it. So he doesn't want this elder's medicine to fade away. He doesn't want the practices of this Lakota elder to pass away. So he continued it for him. Maybe they had talked about it. Maybe they had made a pact between them. I have a blood pact with my tribe, with my clan. You know? I have a blood pact with them. A pact between warriors. And what I mean warrior, if I'm summoned to travel to do something that requires me, I have to go. You know, wherever, no matter the condition that I'm at. As long as I can get up and breathe, I have to go. And I did that last year. No matter how fucked up I was feeling and with my situation, I had to go and be out there in ceremony for half a month. With no funds, you know, dealing with all kinds of things. I can't even describe to you guys. I couldn't even sleep. I couldn't sleep, I'm telling you guys. I couldn't sleep. I was sitting up like, you know, waking up like, in the fucking middle of the night. A lot of us stayed up till 3 a.m. I was one of the oldest guys that stayed up. Most of the boys that were staying up were in their 20s, late teens, like 18, 19, 20s, up to maybe like 24. And for some reason, like a lot of the young energy, a lot of the young brothers, young sisters, you know, a lot of young people, they like to vibe it out. They feel, I don't know why, when we talk, it's like I can have conversations with fucking teenagers and we'll just vibe it out. I just feel that being humble and trying to be pure to who you are is very important, and not let age, diseases, difficulties in life, financial, you know, responsibility change who you are, make you a serious, bitter person. You know, I don't like to be that way, but I don't like to waste my time even with people around, like relatives. I'm telling you guys, I told you guys this before. I'm like, I don't really waste my time really talking to relatives here, even where I live. My sister, like, I say hi to them, whatever. I don't really. They invited me to go outside today and have like I don't know. I think they made like a steak with bread or some steak potatoes. I didn't even go eat with them. You know, because I just feel like I'm so focused on my spiritual path, my own everything that I'm doing, that I just don't want people to. And that's the reason why I haven't really even been on TikTok. You know, I'm working on a lot of things, both spiritual, psychological, financial, all these things. And I don't need distractions from my path. And I hope you guys take this advice too. If TikTok is distracting you from your path, if it's making you be late for work, if you're waking up tired because you're on TikTok fucking like 5 hours, 6 hours, you know, if your eyes hurt, if you haven't gone to look for work, or if you're missing opportunities to organize yourself more, your room, your space, your house, you know, responsibilities, take care of those things. Don't let things like social media distract you from that. Now, I'm telling you that with the good faith. I'm not telling you sit here and support me all the time. If you're here, I appreciate you guys being here. You know, I'm here right now. I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow, but we're here right now, and that's what matters. I feel you, man. I feel you guys too, man. That's why, you know, we're having this conversation. I told you guys this is the most realistic, most awesome conversation that we could ever have. You know, but we don't get all the support that we get, because we're not enrolled in a reservation. I bet you anything, if I came up here and I was singing like some tribal song and to showing you guys my tribal card or something, I would have people from that tribe vibing it out here. But because we're not connected to those tribes, and, you know, I'm speaking in English for everybody to better understand. How many of you are actually Nahua? How many of you here are Aztec, are Mayan, are of a tribe south of the U.S. border? How many of you guys here? Not many, right? There's going to be a very few. I'm just keeping it 100 with you guys. We don't need to bullshit each other. You know, but you'll still see me, you know, support. I'm trying to stay more to myself now. You know, I'm not trying to go around into other American Indian live streams and stuff, because at the end of the day, I don't think they see as there's a lot of beef going on around tribes too. Like I said, I don't want to ignore the beef people hold with each other. You know, like I said, I was just looking at a documentary with Hopis and how they don't like the Navajo. Like it's almost to the point where they rather marry a whitey person than a Navajo, because of the drama that, you know, the migration. And I know there's some of them that are cool and friends, but even some of our tribes, like the Aztec and the Purepecha, like I just crossed paths with Purepechas today out here where I'm at, and I was like, oh shit, I can't wait to drop some content on that. They do the music, they do traditional stuff, and I'm like, that's cool, because I didn't even know that we're like, you know, I just moved out here a year ago, so someone told me about them today. I'm like, hell yeah, you know, like I always like to have it out with our native brothers, you know. For sure. Thank you, man. What's up, Gabby? Day's going good. Thank you. Appreciate it. Well, it's night now, but you know what I mean. Are you familiar with Codex Borgia book? I heard about it, but I'm not an educator, and when you open those books, you need to be very understanding that you're gonna need more than just English or Spanish understanding to read those books. There's a lot of youngsters, a lot of people who want to go around and think they know they're reading, and they're gonna translate, and they're gonna fucking tell the world what it is. And you know, there's a lot of stuff that is kind of like a code. It's kind of like it's read one way and it tells you one thing, but it doesn't mean anything to do with that. It has nothing to do with what we read, what the books are telling us at all. And I'm telling you guys that from the bottom of my heart, because I'd rather tell you guys the truth than to tell you guys, oh yeah, what that book is saying is true. You know, there was a war, a god of war, and a fucking god of the sun, and there was deities, and this is this. The books tell you that because that's the way they were interpreting what they saw, what they didn't understand. Don't forget, these are people that were highly religious people. So what does that tell you? When someone's highly religious, that means they believe in things they don't really know. Who has seen God here? Like in all bullshit, all reality, like where's God? Like where? Nowhere. Or people say he's everywhere. He's inside us. He's okay, I get it. So that's another way to say you don't know. We never seen it. Jesus here on this hemisphere is called Chewy. And Nawat is the mute. Why? Because someone always spoke for him. He never spoke to nobody here. In the Bible, he spoke to people left and right 2,000 years ago. But Ain't nobody talking here. Ain't nobody writing a new book. Why does the Bible have to be 2,000 year old? You know what I mean? That the same thing goes for. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to make sense. You know what I mean, guys? I'm not trying to be hateful towards religious people. I'm just telling you guys, like, for real, like, where are all the miracles? You know, they try to lie about miracles too. They used to have, look, there was statues, and there were people that supposedly cried with glass. Like, there were people that were crying glass, like actual glass, tears with glass. They were making, there was like a tree, an actual, a real life tree, and they said that a religious, I don't know if it was the Virgin of Guadalupe or a Jesus Christ, was stamped on it. Like the light or some mysterious thing happened, and suddenly the image of Christ or something was stamped on that tree. And then later they find out that it was man-made. It was manipulated. The same thing goes for the tears with the glass. There was like people saying that there was tricks you could do to make it. Like, they debunked all those things. But see, back in the day, 2,000 years ago, someone wrote on it and said, "Oh, we just saw this happen, and wow, we're gonna write it down, and it's a beautiful thing." And then they weaponized religion. What were they doing with religions? They were conquering other countries, and when they couldn't, and that's what they did with the indigenous people in the Americas, with all of us. They went around and with a book and said, "Look, they couldn't defeat us with weapons," so they started doing the boarding schools. Schools where the residentials, right? Those schools where they were telling kids unaliving the Indian in them and saving the man. What's good?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Not much.
How's it
Where you
going?
from, man?
I'm from Washington State.
You're Asian, huh? I see your name like Japanese.
Oh
or
no,
Korean.
that's just my last name in Japanese. I thought it'd be cool. Nah,
right.
I'm Native American.
All right, yeah.
You said something cool earlier that I wanted to ask you more about. You said that just because you don't have a tribal ID, that people won't like take you seriously or something like that.
I think on
Where are you
TikTok
from?
that's a very big problem. Yeah, that's a huge
Yeah.
problem on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I seen something. I don't know if it was true or not. That there's more people in Mexico with indigenous blood. I don't know if that's true, but I think that's cool.
I think what happens is that in Mexico we don't have blood quantum, but I think a lot of people, they just love their freedom and love their community so much that they can either move out here, come out to the United States, work for a few years, and then go back to their homeland. And I've known a lot of indigenous people that have done that, where, you know, they realize that they're living in a world that's constantly changing, and if they don't keep up with the times, you know, just like species in the world, they become extinct. You know.
Yeah.
So Bolivia was another country that was really poor, dealing with a lot of abuse, a lot of poverty. They didn't have the resources at the time. They didn't know that lithium was going to be a powerful resource. And so today, Bolivia is making one of the biggest contracts with Russia, worth of millions. I mean, I'm talking millions, hundreds of millions. I don't know how much that's coming up. So they went from a country that was in extreme poverty to, little by little, becoming one of the wealthiest countries in South America. And so, you know, that goes for a lot of our communities, I think, when they started to realize that the world is moving forward, the technologies, advancements and everything, and eventually they're making us rely on these technologies. So that's why Mexico is where it needs to be today, I think. And that's why I'm so proud to be of indigenous.
I love Mexico. Mexico has the biggest city in North America, right? Mexico City.
I think it's at least like three times bigger than all of New York. So, yeah, definitely, it's the biggest city as far as I know. Yeah,
I want to travel there one day. No, there's a lot of Native Americans that aren't like that too. I just want to say, like, we know we're Native American with or without our tribal ID, so that's not all of us. I just want to say, we notice you guys. We know you're out there, and we see you.
Well, thank you, bro. I mean, there's good relatives out there, man, and I got nothing but love for them. You know, I would take my shirt off for these brothers. You know, if there was any conflict, you know, if I see them, I try to motivate them. You know, I try to be there for all our indigenous brothers and sisters, even those who are mixed and everything. You know, it's all good.
Heck yeah.
You know, but the problem is when you have a few bad apples that go around and they're very hateful and they can be very disgusting and triggering. You know, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of them, unfortunately. Well, not a lot, but there's definitely.
It comes from a lot of generational trauma.
There's
through
definitely a
that.
presence here on TikTok of that, and they're very
Yeah.
good at dividing and inserting themselves in indigenous spaces because they're indigenous too. But they just don't practice the indigenous way. They think just because they have an enrollment card or they were born in the res or they have a family member who's on the res that they have a voice to speak on their tribe and
Yeah.
to come and attack other people out here and invalidate and talk shit to them. And that's not how it flies. Not for me. They could play that
Yeah.
shit in their fucking yard, in their spaces, at their house, in their neighborhood, whatever the fuck. They ain't gonna fuck with me with that, you know. It don't, you know what I mean? Because it's dangerous, bro. It creates division. It promotes hate, and it's very triggering.
It's dividing us when reality we're just the same.
We're 100% the same.
Yeah.
The tribal names, we all call ourselves the same. You know, for us, there's at least 5 different tribes that I'm part of,